This is day 4 of lockdown for Glyn and I. As you can probably tell, I'm not currently at home. I'm sitting in the car as we've had to come to the hospital to get some tests done because I've not been feeling the best, and we think it's due to the reduction in my ivacaftor dose that we did a couple of weeks ago. So we're going to do some tests to see what the levels are like, and hopefully they're not going to be good, which sounds very strange, because then that means we can increase my ivacaftor, which will hopefully make me feel better and less tired, less needing the oxygen, and maybe just a little bit more motivated. Sorry if you can hear that beeping and whirring in the background. It's my oxygen machine. And it's running out of battery because the car's turned off. So we're a little bit early for the appointment, so we're just waiting in the cars. It's safer to wait in the car than it is in the hospital. And I just want to obviously take this time to stress that do whatever it is you need to do to look after yourselves, especially if your CF is a stage like where mine is, where it's not very well controlled and you get very symptomatic. You're in hospital a lot. I spend usually about every 4 weeks I go in usually. I've only been home for a week at the moment after a month course of antibiotics and a very long, stressful admission. But you need to take the advice from your centre and the advice from my centre. For me personally, I don't want everybody to think that, oh, this girl's self-isolating for 12 weeks, so I should be self-isolating. There's many different factors. You need to listen to your physicians, you need to listen to what they say, and you also need to consider your own personal circumstances and what's best for you. You know, such as I couldn't possibly not see my mum for 12 weeks, so that's still going to happen. Therefore my mum's taken precautions and is also self-isolating to minimise the risk. And when we do come into contact, there will be obviously hand washing, not as much, like minimum to no physical contact, just again to reduce that risk. But obviously a big decision was made whether or not to come up to the hospital today, but again it was a decision that me and my physicians felt was necessary to find out what's going on. So we tried other alternatives first of why I might not be feeling well, like infection. So I got my blood drawn at home. There was my infection markers are okay for me, so it doesn't really indicate infection and things like that. So this is the only other thing that's different in my care at the moment. So we felt it was necessary to come up to the hospital, but we are prepared, and just I want to show you what we do. And I have my VOG mask with me, which is I've got a pretty pattern one. So I've got my VOG mask, so hopefully, which is the N99 mask inside, so it's the right particle filtering levels. So I've got that, I've got my hand gel, I've got some gloves I'm going to wear, again just so my skin doesn't physically have to touch things and I can throw them away. So we've set up a system with the hospital where in a minute I'm going to get out the car and put everything on. I'm going to call them as I'm approaching the hospital. They're going to come and meet me and they're going to escort me straight to the room. So you're straight in, everything's going to be done straight out, and then as soon as we get home it will be again straight in. The clothes that we've had on will go straight into the wash, especially because we've been to the hospital. We'll go straight into the wash. We're going to take a shower. and just do all that good stuff, and that's pretty much it. But yeah, so I'm off to get some blood work done, some more extensive blood work that my local GP can't test for because they need special labs or something, I'm not sure. But I also need to have a sweat test done, so I thought I would probably insert a little clip of me having a sweat test done for those who don't know what a sweat test is or have never seen one performed. And I have recently had people ask me about sweat tests and what does it mean, especially those who are awaiting diagnosis of CF. So obviously a sweat test is something that is used to diagnose cystic fibrosis, and it literally is what it sounds. It tests the sweat that you produce, so it tests the salt level in the sweat that we produce, because CF people produce excessive amounts of salt throughout their body, which obviously comes out in their sweat. So you put little probes on your arm which stimulate your sweat glands, and then again, it doesn't hurt. It's like a little tingly kind of sensation. It doesn't really hurt. Well, I say it doesn't hurt at all. It's just like it's just like a little fizzy kind of sensation. They take them off, they put the probe on, which literally just looks like a watch with a spiral in it, which is a tubing, and then slowly you watch the spiral fill up with fluid that turns blue, which is the sweat, and then they collect it. So it's very easy, relatively quick, about 30 minutes, something like that. It literally just depends how long it takes you to sweat, really. So I will insert a clip of that, so all of you that are interested to see can see what that's like. And I think I might do a few more of these little vlogs and just keep you updated with my isolation life and my life at the moment, living with obviously chronic CF. And yeah, just hopefully spread a little joy. I'm very lackluster today. I'm usually a lot more bubbly than this, so hopefully we'll have a few laughs along the way. But yeah, it'll be an interesting one. So stay tuned if you want to see that sweat test. If not, I'll see you later, and hopefully I'll catch you all on the next one. Let me know what you guys are up to, how your lives are going, and what you're doing with your days when we're all indoors. We all need ideas to keep ourselves busy, keep ourselves motivating. Motivating? See, I don't even know what I'm talking about. Motivated. So yeah, let me know what you're up to. I'm interested to see what people are doing, because at the moment I'm looking around my house thinking, what do I do? Okay, breathe easy, guys. Okay, so here I am at the hospital, and we've already done the sweat test on one arm and we're now performing it on the left. So what we're doing at the moment is we're just cleaning the skin with some alcohol and sterile water to remove any oils or residue on my skin that may affect the test. The next thing that my nurse is doing, which you can't see, is she's getting 2 gel discs out of a container and placing them onto electric pads. Sounds scary, but it's not. And then she straps them to my arm. So there's a red one, and then there's a black one that's coming, and you might be able to see briefly the little jelly pad there, which helps conduct the electricity to the skin. She then turns the machine on for about 5 minutes, which helps stimulate a current to the skin for your sweat glands to then produce more sweat. This doesn't hurt at all. It literally just gives you a little bit of a tingling sensation, but it is completely pain-free. After that, we remove the probes and we clean the skin again, ready for the coil collection disc. Now the collection disc has a little tube inside which is coiled around, which is what the sweat is going to collect into, and at the opening of the coil is a little dye which turns the sweat blue, so we can see how much sweat's collected and whether or not we've got a sufficient sample or not. So that gets strapped to your arm nice and tight, and then you get wrapped up with a bit of cling film, ready to marinade, which sounds disgusting, I've just said it, but this is literally just to help increase the sweat. And if you're somebody who doesn't sweat very easily, you can put your coat on and things like that. So this is about 25 minutes later. As you can see, we've got a nice sample in there. So what we're going to do is we're going to get the pliers and take the cap off and very carefully pull out the tube, being obviously very cautious not to waste any of the sample. And sometimes your nurse might ask for a helping hand in this, like she's just asked me just to hold the little container so she can put the little needle in the other end of the syringe to get it out. And there's my sample, and we like to call it Smurf sweat, so hashtag Smurf sweat. And that will go off, and then in a couple of days I'll have my results. But thank you for watching, everybody, and please keep safe, and especially with the corona going around. And if you need any advice, please go onto the websites below, and I'll catch up with you on the next one. Thank you, guys.